Some difficulties, per usual.
All right, Andrew, whenever.
Yeah, so you, fifth year college basketball, you played 2 years, two other places. What is your level of excitement going into this opener as opposed to your previous two stops?
Yeah, I think it's the same. You know, that time of year comes around. First real game, although, you know, we had a scrimmage and exhibition, that matters too. But really excited to get out there for real Monday night.
Have you played anything through your mind about how things might go this year, what it's going to be like to wear that uniform in a real game, play in some of those stages you guys are going to play in, or is this something you're just going to let happen and you don't really think too much down the road?
I mean, you know, everyone dreams and kind of thinks things through their mind, so definitely, you know, visualizing certain things here and there. But I would say right now you're just taking it day by day. You know, you try not to look past any opponent, any practice. You try to win every day and go like that, so that's what I've been doing.
Is there one part of Monday that you've like visualized the most, like running out the tunnel, introductions, tip, checking in first time?
I wouldn't say a particular moment. It's just sometimes when you're out there, you know, whether it's like a dead ball or, you know, free throws, you know, everything kind of just stops around you and it'll hit you sometimes. But haven't thought about, you know, a particular moment. But obviously running out of the tunnel is cool. You know, the introductions are really fun and jump ball and all that. But it's all enjoyable.
Max, you've played a lot of college basketball. You've been around it for a long time, obviously, with your dad. Like, what would you say this preseason, what have you seen this preseason out of this group that gives you hope for what you all can become this year? Like, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, I've been on a lot of teams, you know, throughout my career, and the one thing about this group that really sticks out is just how unselfish we are and how much we enjoy being around each other. I would say just both on and off the court, kind of the chemistry we've built in such a short time has been impressive to me, especially with so many new guys. So it's a group that loves being around each other, and you know, that's not the case at, you know, with every team or every program. So to be with a team where we all enjoyed, you know, coming to practice every day and competing and, you know, going at each other, but knowing once we get off the court, you know, we're all best friends, it's really special.
That's something you need, obviously, the chemistry, but you can't force it.
Mm-hmm.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, so.
Exactly, yeah, it's got to be genuine. And, you know, we've got a bunch of great guys in the locker room, so we're blessed to all, you know, enjoy each other's company and spend a lot of time together outside of basketball, too. So.
Why else do you think you guys have that chemistry?
Say
Why
again?
else do you think you guys have that chemistry and enjoy each other so much?
Why else?
Yeah, what's kind of deep there about just being a little bit different group, especially you guys coming from so many different places, with so many different experiences.
Yeah, I would say, you know, common goals is one thing. You know, we all want to, you know, win, and we want to do it together, and we know that, you know, we can't win at our highest level without the guy next to you, you know, the guy to your left and right. So I would say that's one of the biggest things that brings this group together, and then also just, you know, common interests. You know, we all love basketball. You know, we love watching basketball. We love hanging out together. You know, cracking jokes in the locker room. Like, it's just natural. So.
What was your biggest advantage in your mind being the coach's son?
I think being around the game for so long, I've got a great basketball IQ, and, you know, just growing up watching games and going to college practices is something that truly kind of gave me an edge, you know, in high school and, you know, freshman year in college. Just knowing how competitive and intense, you know, every day is at the Division I level. You know, a lot of guys, you know, don't really know what that level is like, but just being around it my whole life is something I'm truly thankful for.
Can you make up for if you might have a lack of something like quickness or anything by being a coach's son and knowing some of the nuances of the game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at all levels of basketball, guys, you know, make up, you know, not being able to shoot the ball or, you know, not being able to guard the quickest player or jump the highest. They make it up with other things, you know. There's guys at the NBA level that, you know, are specialists and get paid a lot of money just because, you know, they can knock down a corner three or they can guard 1 through 4 or, you know, step out and hedge on a ball screen. So there's a bunch of ways in this game where you can make yourself valuable, and I think one of the coolest things about basketball is how players find, you know, that ability to create value for themselves on different teams.
What was your dad's reaction when you told him you were coming to Carolina?
He was excited. Both my mom and him were involved in the recruiting process, but they knew that at the end of the day it was going to be my decision. So they were there kind of to listen when I would talk to them and, you know, break it down to them how I was feeling. But when I finally told them that I felt like this was the place for me and this was home, I think they were really excited because it is a stressful process, and you know, it's a place that they love so much too. So they were relieved that, you know, Carolina was the place for me.
What was that process like for you? I mean, you were the first transfer to commit, and it was pretty early on in the offseason when you decided to come here.
Yeah, it was interesting, especially being at Brown with the Ivy League rule, knowing the whole season that I wasn't going to be back with my teammates at Brown if I wanted to continue playing in college. So it was kind of this weird thing where, you know, I knew next year I was going to be on a different team, so the coaches knew I was going to be in the transfer portal, but it wasn't like I was transferring, you know, for different reasons. But it was chaotic, you know, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, setting up Zoom calls, people flying out to visit you. But it was really nice to, you know, have conversations and get to know people quick. But, you know, I enjoyed it, and, you know, I was really thankful I found a home here. And once Carolina, you know, came calling, I knew it was the place for me. So.
You
Was
mentioned
Michigan State a consideration?
No, it was not.
I mean, genuine question. I don't know. So.
Do
It
they
wasn't.
Do they play Monday?
They play Monday night. They host James Madison.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you'd ever be here.
This is kind of like a two-piece question, but what did you see in Carolina that made you want to come here, and what did you think that you could bring to Carolina when you came here?
Coach Davis's passion was something that really stood out to me. He loves his place and speaks so highly of it. Him being a player and then, you know, coming back, and, you know, me and his wife feel like this is home for him. And I could really tell how special of a place it is just by hearing him talk about it. So that was something that was really attractive to me, and also just being a part of a program like Carolina basketball with the rich tradition and the winning culture, and just the opportunity to be part of something bigger than myself was really appealing to me. And initially I thought that I could bring experience and, you know, shooting and leadership and basketball IQ and being able to, you know, play, make, create for others. And that's something that Coach Davis, you know, agreed with. And so we both had aligning visions, and was kind of a perfect match for me. So I was lucky.
What were your expectations when you decided to come to Carolina? Could you have anticipated starting?
I didn't really have any expectations. I knew I could trust Coach Davis, and I trusted what he told me. And I came in, you know, really looking forward to being a part of something bigger than myself and being a part of a winning group. And I believe in Coach Davis's vision. And I was willing to do whatever he wanted me to do, whatever the coaching staff wanted me to do, and whatever's going to help this team win. So that was kind of what my mindset was coming in.
You mentioned the unselfishness of this team. After the exhibition last Friday, Coach Davis was saying, from a basketball perspective, that maybe sometimes you guys are a little too unselfish, like making the extra pass. Is that something that he's communicated to y'all since then?
He has. I think that when we are open, we do need to shoot it. And, you know, there's kind of a fine line between turning down a good shot to getting a great shot and knowing you have a great shot. So you're going to run into some situations where, you know, maybe looking back you should have taken the shot, but I think it's a good problem to have.
You mentioned the different things that you thought you could bring, the passing, the playmaking, et cetera, like shooting. What do you think is going to translate most immediately? Like on Monday, what is, you know, fans walking out of the building, they're going, oh, Paxson can really.
Yeah, I think one thing that people will take away is just effort and how hard I play and how vocal I play. I think that's something I really pride myself in, being able to control what you can control. Some nights your shot's not going to fall. You might play great defense, but, you know, they might hit a great shot. So if you can just control what you can control and, you know, do those intangible things at a high level, you know, you're going to win a lot of games. And so that's something I think people will appreciate and take away.
How important are those first 3 games that you guys have at home? I know you all have been, you know, together throughout the summer, things like that. But I guess from a continuity standpoint, how important are those first 3 games?
Every game's important. You know, Monday night is what our focus is on right now, and then after that we'll go to Sunday Lehigh. But right now all we're thinking about is Radford, and we're taking it day by day. So first we got to have good practice today, but it's obviously incredibly important.
Pax, talking about effort, is the competitiveness there with this group? Because it sounds like, you know, the practices have been pretty intense, you know. I mean, the older guys aren't mailing it in, is what it sounds like. I mean,
No, not at all. It's a uber competitive group. We got a bunch of guys that, you know, really like to win, but they hate to lose more, if that makes sense. And every drill is competitive, you know, whether it's shooting drills or, you know, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, live play, free throws, like, everyone wants to win. You know, when we were doing conditioning drills in the summer, people were trying to win those, so it's really fun, and, you know, there's some good banter and trash talk as long as it doesn't get out of hand, and Coach Davis isn't complaining about it. It's really good for us.
Last week I was talking to RJ about you, just trying to get his take on what kind of player you are. And I mentioned to him that you had 13 boards at Michigan State last year, and his eyes kind of popped out. He said, that explains a lot. And then Armando kind of described you as being an edgy player, a much grittier player than people will realize. How soon after getting here did some of these guys comment to you about, dude, and you bring it, or you're pretty physical, or dial it down, or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was first week, really, playing pickup. You know, we had camp, we were playing pickup, you know, late at night, and I just remember, you know, I was coming on, I was subbing in, and Big Z, he mentioned to someone on the other team, he pointed at me, he was, you know, hey, you gotta box this guy out. Like, he doesn't look like he's gonna crash, but he'll come up with some sneaky ones, some loose balls, and literally, like, the next possession I got one, and whoever it was like, oh, I see what you're talking about now, Z, like, I got him. But, yeah, it's something I really pride myself in. I think with this year's group, I'll be surrounded with a lot, you know, better rebounders than I was last year. We were a little bit thin, and so it was kind of a bigger role for me to rebound for my team. So I'll try to help Armando, Harrison, you know, RB guys as much as I can, but it's really hard to, you know, steal some away from them. They do a pretty good job rebounding the ball. So.
What were those alumni games like?
They were great. The guys coming back from the NBA or overseas really is, you know, invaluable experience for us, you know, just being able to pick their brain and compete against them. And it just goes to show the Carolina family, guys are so willing to come back and play and teach the current guys.
Was there a guy there that you saw that you remember watching when they were in college and you were like, wow, I'm actually playing against this person?
I think all of them, really. It's hard to pick one. With Marcus on staff, playing against Z, you know, K. Will, like all those guys coming back. It's been great, you know, but you definitely, you know, look up to those guys that, you know, were playing here when you were younger, and, you know, now to play against them or learn from them or be able to work out with them in the summer is really cool.
Adam, last one.
Thank you, Bowers. How did you pick number 8? Was that Kobe?
So, I love Kobe, but it wasn't Kobe. 8's always been my lucky number. I was born August 8th, 2000, and I had this moment in 2008. I guess it's like a golden birthday, but I turned 8, 8th month, 8th day, 2008, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And so ever since then, like 8's been my lucky number. And I also love playing pool, so 8 ball, like I don't know, 8 was just a thing, and I thought that, you know, this is my last year in college, this is the first year that you can get away with it.
Right.
Why not do it? So that's
a lot of synergy with 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paxson. Appreciate it.
Paxson.